Thoth, the last priest king of Atlantis, and the secret knowledge he hid in the pyramids. Thoth, also known as Hermes Trismegistus, an Atlantean, and I do have the emerald tablets written by him for your listening pleasure, because he describes his very tremendously advanced technology that they had. He said that they had interdimensional travel and also intergalactic travel. He also claims that he has buried one of his spaceships underneath a sphinx in an Egyptian pyramid complex. He also credits himself with the Giza plateau. Thoth, the last priest king of Atlantis, his secret knowledge that he hid in the pyramids. He was one of the most popular gods of Egyptian religion. He was the deity of the moon and wisdom, and the ancient Greeks identified him as Hermes Trismegistus. In the primitive periods of Egyptian civilization, he was the god of the moon, and from his lunar association it said that he derives his diversity as he expresses himself with many and different faces. Just as the moon draws its light from the sun, so Thoth derived much of his authority from the solar god Ra, acting as his scribe and advisor. In fact, so important were the phases of the moon to the rhythms of Egyptian life that Thoth was considered the principle of cosmic order, as well as of religious and temple worship, religious and social institutions. He was present in almost every aspect of temple worship, in the administration of justice, and in the magical arts with which he was particularly associated. He's also the divine scribe, the inventor of writing, and the master of wisdom. The priesthood attributed to him many of the sacred writings, including the Book of Breaths and part of the Book of Death. He was also believed to have transmitted the art of hieroglyphic writing to the Egyptians from ancient times, while he was also a patron of scribes. He was honored as the Lord of knowledge of all sciences, considered the personification of understanding and logic. He was also a mediator to bring about peace between Horus and Seth. His particular field of activity was esoteric wisdom, and for this reason he was called the mysterious or unknown. His magical powers also connected him to medicine, and when the body finally succumbed to death, he was again the one who led the deceased to the kingdom of the gods, and the judgment of his soul followed. According to the research of the author A.S. Riley and his book The Emerald Tablets of Thoth, Thoth was the king priest of the mythical Atlantis, and after the sinking of the continent he traveled to Egypt and built the pyramids, hiding all the knowledge there. The history of the tablets that are translated in strange and exceeds the beliefs of modern scientists. Their antiquity is amazing. They date back to 36,000 BC. The author is Thoth, the Atlantean priest king, who founded a colony in ancient Egypt after the sinking of his mother country, Atlantis. And it was he who built the Great Pyramid of Giza, which is wrongly attributed to Cheops, and in it he embodied his knowledge of ancient wisdom and safely hid the archives and instruments of Atlantis. He ruled the ancient tribe of Egypt for 16,000 years, that is, from about 50,000 to 36,000 BC. At that time, the ancient barbarian tribe among which he and his followers had settled developed a high civilization. Thoth was immortal, that is, he had conquered death. He passed at will to the other side, but not by experiencing death. And because of his immense wisdom, he became ruler of the various Atlantean colonies, including those in South and Central America. When the time came to leave Egypt, he erected the Great Pyramid over the entrance of the great halls of Amenthus. He placed his archives in it and appointed select men of his people as guardians of the secrets. In later times, the descendants of these guardians became the priests of the pyramid, while Thoth was deified by those who lived in the dark ages that followed his passing. He became the god of wisdom, the archivist, and according to legend, the halls of Amenthus became the underworld, the halls of the gods, where the soul went after death to be judged. In later ages, the ego of Thoth passed into the bodies of men according to the manner described in the tablets. Thus, he was incarnated 3 times, and his last he became known as Hermes, the thrice-born Trismegistus. Then he left the text known to modern occultists as the Emerald Tablets, a later but lesser exposition of the ancient mysteries. For this reason, it's not advisable at present to present them to the general public, yet even in those listed below there are secrets that will prove invaluable to the serious student, but they must be read not once but many times, for only then will their true meaning be revealed. A simple reading will offer flashes of beauty, but intensive study will open avenues of wisdom to the seeker. But now let's give some information about how these great secrets were revealed to modern man after a long period of being kept hidden. Around 13,000 BC in Egypt, the chaos of Kim was in turmoil, and many delegations of priests were sent to other parts of the world. Among them were some of the priests of the pyramids who carried with them the emerald tablets as talismans, which they could exercise power over the less developed priests and the tribes who came from other Atlantean colonies. According to the tablets, their owner was a bearer of the power of Thoth. A certain group of priests who brought the tablets migrated to South America, where they found a flourishing race, the Maya, who remembered much of the ancient wisdom. The priests settled among them, and by the 10th century, the Maya had completely settled in Yucatan, and the tablets had been placed under the altar of the great temples of the sun god. After the conquest of the Maya by the Spanish, the cities were abandoned and the treasures of the temples forgotten. It should be understood that the Great Pyramid of Egypt was and still is an initiation into the mysteries. The writer, who is connected with the Great White Lodge, also worked through the pyramid priesthood, was guided to find and return to the Great Pyramid the ancient tablets. This was accomplished after adventures which need not to be described here. Before they were returned, permission was given to translate them and keep a copy of the wisdom engraved upon them. This was done in 1925, and only now has permission been granted to publish a portion of it. Many will certainly scoff, but the true student will read and understand what's hidden behind the words and will gain wisdom. If the light is within you, then the light engraved on those tablets will respond. And now a brief external description of the tablets. They consist of 12 emerald tablets. They're made of a substance created by alchemical transmutation. They are indestructible and resist all elements and substances. Their atomic and cellular structure is stabilized and cannot be changed. Thus, they violate the material laws of ionization. They bear engraved letters in the ancient language of Atlantis, which responds to resonant thought waves and release the relevant mental vibration in the mind of the reader. The tablets are attached with rings of an alloy of painted gold that are suspended from a rod of the same material. The wisdom they contain is the foundation of the ancient mysteries, but it will be understood only by whoever reads with open eyes and mind. Plate 1, the story of Thoth of Atlantis. He says, I, Thoth the Atlantean, teacher of the mysteries, archivist, mighty king, magician, living from generation to generation, and about to pass into the halls of Atlantis, have written for the guidance of posterity these records of the mighty wisdom of great Atlantis. This incarnation of mine began in the great city of Keor, on the island of Undal, in a distant age. I did not live as the little men of the present age, or as the mighty of Atlantis lived and died, but as those who from age to age renew their lives in the halls of Atlantis, where the river of life flows eternally. 1,000 times have I descended the dark path, and as many times have I ascended from darkness into light, and have renewed my power and might, and now I will descend once more, and then the people of Kem will know me no more. However, in a time that has not yet come, I will rise again strong and mighty, and I will demand an account from those I have left behind. Beware then, O people of Chem, if you have betrayed my teaching, for I will cast you down from your high position into the darkness of the caves from which you came. Do not betray my secret to the people of the north, or to the people of the south, or my curse will fall upon you. Remember and heed my words, for I will surely return again, and demand from you that which you guard. Even beyond time, I will return and reward or punish according to your attitude. Great were my people in ancient days, far greater than the little men who now surround me can imagine. They knew the old wisdom and sought far into the heart of eternity, the knowledge that belonged to the youth of the earth. We were wise with the wisdom of the children of light who dwelt among us. We were strong with the power drawn from the eternal fire. Of all these, greatest among the children of men was my father Thoth, guardian of the great temple, link between the children of light who dwelt within the temple and the tribes of men who dwelt in the 10 islands. Spokesman of the three, the dweller of Unal, he spoke to the kings with a voice that must be obeyed. There I grew up and became a man and was taught by my father the greatest mysteries until the fire of wisdom was kindled, and it became a fire that devours all. I desired nothing but the acquisition of wisdom until one great day the command came from the dweller of the temple to present myself before him. Few were the children of men who had seen that mighty face and had lived, for the children of light are not like the children of men when they are not incarnate. So I was chosen from the sons of men and taught by the dweller, so that his purposes might be fulfilled, purposes as yet unborn in the womb of time. For a very long time I lived within the temple, acquiring more and more wisdom, until I approached the light that emanated from the great fire. He taught me the path to Ambient, the underworld where the great king sits on the throne of his power. I bowed low before the lords of life and death, receiving as a gift the key of life. I was free from the halls of Atlantis, unbound by death to the circle of life. I traveled far into the stars until space and time became nothing. Then, having drunk from the cup of wisdom, I looked into the hearts of men, and there I found even greater mysteries and rejoiced, for only by the search for truth could my soul be stilled and the flame within me quenched. Through the ages I lived, seeing those around me taste the cup of death and return again to the light of life. Slowly through the kingdoms of Atlantis passed the waves of consciousness that had become one with me, only to be replaced by the offspring of a lesser star. Obeying the law, the word of the master blossomed into a flower, but the thoughts of the Atlanteans turned downwards into darkness, until at last the angry dweller arose from his agquant, SS, the term refers to state of detachment. He spoke the word, he invoked the power. Deep in the heart of the earth, the sons of Ambient listened, and listening, they directed the change of the flower of eternal life, changing and twisting, using the word until that great fire changed its direction. Then the world was flooded with waters that drowned and drowned it. They changed the balance of the earth until only the temple of light remained standing on the great mountain in Undal above the waters. Some who lived there were saved by their rush. Then the master called to me, saying, "Gather my people, take them with the arts you have learned, and lead them far beyond the waters until you reach the land of the hairy barbarians who dwell in the caves of the desert, and there follow the plan you know." So I gathered my people and entered the great ship of the master. We weighed anchor in the morning, while behind us in the darkness the temple rose. Suddenly the waters rose around it, and it disappeared from the earth until the appointed time it was a great temple. So obviously a great flood took place here. We quickly fled in the direction of the morning sun. until we stepped on the land of the children of Chem. They arrived with clubs and spears raised and sought to slaughter and destroy the sons of Atlantis. Then I raised my staff and directed a beam of vibration towards them that struck them as if they were pieces of a rock. Then I obviously had a high-tech weapon here. Then I spoke to them in calm and peaceful words and told them of the power of Atlantis and that we were children of the sun and its messengers. They were so afraid of the demonstration of my science of magic that they crawled before my feet. Then I set them free. We remained for a long time in the land of Chem, a very long time, until, obeying the orders of the Master, who while he sleeps lives eternally, I sent away the sons of Atlantis. I sent them away in many directions, so that through the womb of time wisdom could be born again in her children. I remained for a long time in the land of Chem, doing great works guided by the wisdom that was within me. In the light of knowledge the children of Chem grew, watered by the water of my wisdom. I then made a path to Ambentis so I could maintain my power, living from time immemorial, a son of Atlantis that preserved wisdom and keeps the records. So the sons of Chem grew and became great and conquered the neighboring people. Slowly they grew towards the power of the soul. For a certain season I left them. I went into the dark halls of Ambentis, deep within the halls of the earth, before the lords of the power, face to face again with the dweller. So I built from above an entrance, a door, a gate that led down to Ambentis. Few would have the courage to dare to pass through the gate to dark Ambentis. Above the passage I built an imposing pyramid, using the force of gravity that surpasses the force of Earth's gravity. Deeper and deeper I placed a dwelling of 2 namas, a hall. From there I carved a circular passage that reached almost to the great peak. At the peak I placed the crystal and sent the ray into space-time, drawing the power from outer space and focusing it on the gate of Ambentis. I built other chambers and left gaps visible to all, but hidden within them would be the keys of Ambentis. Whoever has the courage and dares to enter the dark realms, let him first purify himself with a long fast and lie down inside the stone sarcophagus that is in his chamber. Then I will reveal to him the great mysteries. Soon he will follow where I meet him. Even in the darkness of the earth I will meet him. Thoth, the Lord of Wisdom, I will hold him and dwell with him forever. So I built the great pyramid according to the pattern of the pyramid of the power of the earth, which burns eternally, so that it will maintain its power throughout the ages. In it I deposited my knowledge of the magical sciences, so that it will be there when I return again from Ambentis. When I sleep in the halls of Ambentis, my soul, which wanders free, will incarnate and dwell among men in one form or another. Hermes, the thrice born. I am the envoy of the dweller on earth, and I carry out his orders to achieve the elevation of man. Now I return to the halls of Ambentis, leaving behind me some of my wisdom. Keep the command of the tenant. Keep your eyes ever fixed on the light. Surely in time you will be one with the Master. Surely by right you are one with the Master. Surely by right you are one with the all. Now that I am leaving you, know my commandments, keep them and become one with them. Then I will be with you, helping and guiding you into the light. And this is from the source being the Emerald Tablets of Thoth by A.S. Riley, Yamblicus. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.